Welcome to your Donut You Eat It. I'm your host, Sean. Man, we live in strange, interesting times. You know, today there is a whistleblower who's come out who says that we absolutely have captured alien aircraft and their occupants. And it's interesting to me because that type of topic has always been interesting to me. Just because I've seen weird things in the sky. But what was interesting to me was the reception of this statement. Rather than people wanting to verify or vet or see what if this is real, that this person actually seeks to make such a starting claim, because he claims to be a whistleblower from inside the government. You're seeing a huge swath of people who are usually more conspiratorial or believe in conspiracies, saying that this absolutely is a false statement. Now, why would that be such a false statement? Now, if you're a true Christian conservative or a true Christian, there's some debate whether God would have made another planet with life. And I've read through the Bible multiple times now, and where God talks about creating the earth and all about it, nowhere in there does he say he created earth alone. And is it possible that these guys are demons? Well, it's possible too. Anything's possible. Some things are just highly mathematically improbable. But the fact that the matter is that the galaxy is massive and ever expanding, and that they have something called the Fermi's paradox, which actually mathematically proves that there should be life on other planets, even if life was just an accident. I don't believe life was. But say something like that were to happen on another planet. You know, galaxy or the universe is millions of years old. What makes you think something didn't naturally evolve or naturally form, even if God didn't create them? So it's interesting to me to see that skepticism and outright denial by some people who would normally take something like this and go, it's possible. And I think it's because we became so jaded as a society that we can't believe the possibilities of something so dramatic being true. And for me, it would just confirm what I've always believed. You know, I have seen things that don't make a lot of sense in the night sky. Could they be advanced aircraft? Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer that some of that's probably the case. But I've heard stories, and I've given some of those family stories about stuff that my sister used to tell me, stuff that my dad used to, after his last little hunting escapade where it was late at night and he wouldn't stay out late anymore from that point on. That maybe there is something to that. You know, there's a lot of cases of missing time where people have hours that they can't explain for just disappeared. They've lost track of time. And then later they're plagued by dreams or something that causes them to remember what has actually happened. You know, and then seeing what NASA's playbook is, if we were to ever land on a planet that was inhabited, we'd do exactly what these creatures, or whatever the hell they are, if they are there, would do. So it's interesting to see the play out of society. You know, I would have thought that if there was this much of a groundbreaking story, that it would have come out and people would have said, let's see what you got. Instead, what you're seeing, first off, is like, there's absolutely no way this could be true. It's that fantastic. Yes, it is. But why can't it be true? We've seen enough weird things in recent history. You know, it was a point in time that there was a point in time, I should say, that they said COVID was absolutely natural. There was no way it could be from a laboratory. And now the prevailing theory is that it probably did come from a laboratory where people were experimenting with viruses to make them more pathogenic to find cures. How is that any more fantastical than saying in a galaxy with billions of planets and stars that there's another group of people or race of creatures that is capable of traversing those stars? I'm more of the idea, though, after seeing how our society reacts and does, that any such creature would probably not want to have anything to do with us. Simply put, as we watch AI evolve and what we're willing to do with AI and make machines and do stupid stuff, why would any other race not come to the same type of paradox where they invent artificial life? And with artificial life comes some kind of scary ideas, if you think about it. One, if you've ever watched the movie Terminator, you know that AI in that movie causes the downfall of humanity. AI becomes self-aware and destroys us. Well, there's that possibility. But what if AI, think about how men or society, our culture, has used computers. One of the first things we did was make porn. Well, now you have a way of making porn or making videos or making movies or whatever with AI that is catered to you. And now with the neural net being a thing that Elon just got approval to go to human trials with, I could see a society being so plugged into technology that they're not willing to live outside of the matrix, so to speak. Why would you? I mean, life is hard. You know, there's challenges in life. If you could just get in and hit into your dream world and get all the experience or have your mind play out those experiences, wouldn't you do that? Would there be a lot of people that do that? I think there would be. I'm not one of them. I'm one of those people that probably would get out of the matrix because life isn't perfection. You know, our experiences, our lived life in reality is what shape us as humans and character. And to have that every little thing catered to you in a perfect, blissful place, that sounds great, but that's what I'm working for on another plane. You know, that's where faith comes in for me. I have no doubt in my faith. I worry that I'm going to fail the man himself. But I think that humans are that hedonistic that there will be a huge swath of younger generations nowadays that would absolutely plug themselves into the matrix and eat the bugs and live in the pod because they could plug in and get everything they ever wanted without any real work. And I think that there's enough rare people, or there's fewer of us than there once was, that has no appeal to me. You know, as much as I think back of how, if I could travel back in time, what would I change? As much as my past has been painful for some things, I don't know that I would, because it would change ultimately who I am. And there's nothing wrong with me. That the one thing I am not a fan of that I've done to myself is I've isolated myself such that it's hard for people to get into my sphere, to talk to me or to find me. And it's a quiet place. But as I get older, I realize that I probably should have been a little more open to the world and willing to take more risks in some things than I ever would or did. But that's changed. You have to face those trials in life to make you a better person. And if you were just given everything, we've all met those people that have had life handed to them on a silver platter. And they're usually the kind of asshat that you don't want to hang out with. So I can't imagine what that society would be if they were ever pulled out of that matrix. What challenges would they do? Would they do any? I'm a fan of hoping to see that my people, our people, eventually travel the stars and colonize other planets and do those amazing things, that we find that technology to make power infinitely cleaner and better. But without adversity or without those trials or those hiccups, humans don't go past that. If you look at history as the great teacher, it is usually some sort of adversity that causes humans to do better. The plague of the Black Death brought about the Renaissance. Economic pressures in the 20s and 30s, brought around the war, World War II and World War One. But if you look at the advancements brought about that by the human condition, the technology that happened there, that it has changed life dramatically, were brought out of such a horrible thing as war. That's why I want to see us travel the stars, is because I want to see humanity do better. And I think we can. So why wouldn't we believe in something as simple as another species or race may have saw something about the Americans or about the world and decided to peek in to see what the hell is going on this planet? Our little blue marble is pretty damn amazing. If you think about what it is a biosphere that supports life. We're a potato rotating in the world or in the galaxy that has just the right climate, just the right temperature to support life. And life to me is sacred. I can't imagine the possibilities. What technology will humans invent, or did we glean if we did capture any of these things? And if we haven't captured these things, or if we did, where's the technology? A planet, an alien, would have to be able to make clean energy, or energy in a scale that we don't understand. How could we use that as society? And why haven't we used it? That's what I think is so interesting about this, is that we're willing to discard this. There's a large swath of people willing to discard that statement without actually thinking about the repercussions of what that means. just some random thoughts about the possibility brought out by a whistleblower, supposedly from the government. Like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, be great.